so that you can keep me honest.
Bo, this has been fantastic. There's so much we can go into, but I also want to reach out and let everybody know about your charities. So let's talk about your charities, what you're doing, and then we'll go into the next thing.
Yes, both Porter Charities, again, we foster programs and events for underprivileged, underserved families and children. Education is one of our biggest pillars. Sports development. Also, we have our sponsor a child Christmas drive every year. We do, going back to the story in New Jersey. The only part I didn't tell you is the field where Mr. Taylor took me to go sign up when I was 9 years old. Fast forward to 2015, I get a call from the mayor of Newark, Ras Baraka, who is a dear friend of mine. Him and I grew up together. They renamed Green Acres Marquez Bo Porter Sports Complex.
Wow.
So that same field that I was dropped off at to sign up and play at Southport Little League, it now is named Marquez Bo Porter Sports Complex. Little League baseball, small fry basketball, Pop Warner football. We have a tutorial program, after school tutorial program for all the kids in the community. Every year we have our coat drive. I do it through the mayor's office, and it was something we started 5 years ago because I felt like I wanted to do something that was going to be more lasting than just giving kids toys. We give kids toys as well, but growing up in the East Coast, the weather is bad, it gets cold, and for those families, last year we did 175 families. For those families that know that their child is going to get a winter coat, every year, I just think it's something that's long lasting, and it's very much needed in that climate and in that community.
That's fantastic. Boy, if it wasn't for people like you, some of these kids would not have much to look forward to. And I think that's great what you're doing. You also had a program with Major League Baseball. I thought it was a pretty good program. I was reading about it. They called it Camp Jobless. But, it really helped because there were players out there that really didn't know where they're going to be going. Talk about that a little bit.
Yes, again, when you talk about analytics, I think analytics really put a freeze on the market during that offseason, and there was a lot of uncertainty for a lot of veteran players because jobs just was not coming open, and teams were not signing players. But again, that goes back to that business model that the organization is looking at and going, okay, we're not going to win. We're not going to allocate dollars to make our on-field product better. So therefore, we're going to give playing time to more minimum wage, players. And it left a lot of proven veterans kind of just sitting in no man's land, and the union stepped in. When you think about the Players Association, they had to do something that would send a message to their players that we are here for you. And Tony Clark, he called me and said, hey, you're a former manager, you've run spring training, you've done all these things in the game. I can't think of no better person to have you come and run this camp, put it together. I was able to get a complete staff of former major league players and coaches that came in, and it was great for the players. One thing for sure is that it sent the message to the ball clubs that you can sign these players because they are participating in a real spring training structure, and a lot of players signed and went on to help major league clubs that year.
Well, here in Chicago, we have, and we're going to finish with, the last thing we'll finish with after this is, I'm just going to let you talk to our coaches, players, and parents. Any last message you have for them, to inspire them into, being a great leader. But we have the ACE program, Chicago White Sox program, that goes into the inner city. They've done a fantastic job. I think it's a model for the country because they've got a lot of kids playing college baseball. You saw it in the College World Series. We had some players from the Chicago area. Your advice to whether it be major league teams, Major League Baseball, whether it be any organization, in helping develop, because we seem to be moving, but not moving fast enough into developing young players in the inner city, when it comes to baseball, because they all want to play basketball, and other sports, but they're not going towards the baseball aspect.
Well, again, I think one of the main reasons is start at the price point.
Yeah.
When you think about basketball, parents are going to buy their kids shoes anyway. So if a parent buy their son or daughter, basketball shoes that they're going to wear to school, they become a dual purpose. They can wear the basketball shoes to school and they can play basketball in them.
Mm-hmm.
When you start thinking about basketball, there's basketball courts, everywhere. You can grab a ball, and really a kid can grab a ball and go shoot. They don't really need anybody else, with them. When you start to look at baseball and the price points that come with the game, from cleats to batting gloves,
Yep.
to fielding glove,
And everything's travel ball now.
Everything is travel ball. So it becomes a pay-to-play model. It's not that many community leagues that are out there where kids get to actually play the game for free. So, one of the things that I try to do within all of my programming is make sure that we make it affordable. So one of the things I would say to anyone that's in youth development, I understand the business model and that you want to monetize your product, your product and your services, but have some mechanism in place that, kind of strips it down from a pricing standpoint that allows families to actually be able to enjoy the game and allow their kids the opportunity to develop. When you think about development, I would say this to all coaches, okay? Move out of the transactional space and move into the transformational space. Stop putting so much of an emphasis on winning games for 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds. It's not about winning games. I'm gonna share this story. And again, Coach Hayden Fry, who I was blessed to play football for at Iowa, this was my senior year, and I was preseason All Big Ten, and we having our Big Ten Media Day. So we're sitting on a podium, and one of the reporters asked Coach Fry. They said, "Hey, you're returning a bunch of seniors. Looks like you guys are going to have a pretty good team this year. Talk to us. I mean, what kind of team do you think you're going to have?" And I remember sitting there. Coach Fry responded to the reporter. He said, "Well, in 1984, I was a really good coach." He said, Chuck Long went on to be an All-American. He's coaching at San Diego State. Bob Stoops is at Oklahoma. He started naming players from those teams and what they were doing, post their University of Iowa career.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I said, Coach Fry didn't ask this man questions. So he finished by saying, he said, "So I don't really know what kind of team I'm going to have this year." He said, "But check back with me 20 years from now. I want to see what kind of men these guys turn out to be, and then I'll let you know what kind of team I had." So
absolutely.
For all coaches, it's not about the here and the now. It's about transforming lives, and that when they leave you whole. And I'll say this to parents, stop trying to safeguard your kids from failure. A lot of parents, they jump from team to team. Well, he couldn't play on this team, so I'm going to move him over here. You know what? Sometimes your kids need to fight through that. Yeah. They need to fight through the fact that they're not playing, and they need to, because I've never met a coach that don't want to win.
Right.
So if your kid is not playing, maybe there's a reason why your kid is not playing. And now you can, remove your kid from that team and they go to another team, but now they've lost that life lesson that was that was needed.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not sure we need a final message. That was a great message. Bo, got to thank you. You went way over your time that I actually sent to you. I can't thank you enough, man. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person after when this is all over. God bless you, and thanks for being on the show, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, that is Bo Porter. I am Pete Caliendo. I'm host of Baseball Outside the Box. We will take Bo's information, all his website information, his Twitter, how to contact him, and put it on the show notes. Don't forget, join us tomorrow, 11 o'clock again, Central Time, for another great show. I'm your host, Pete Caliendo. Stay safe. Wishing you a great day. God bless you. Ciao, and see you on the next show.